Israel, beginning in 1438 BC. Around 1438 BC, the Israelites traveled to Kadesh Barnea from Mount Sinai. And they sent spies into the land to search it out and report back to the conditions there. And you'll find that in Numbers chapter 13, verse 17. And when the spies returned, they reported there were giants in the land and discouraged the people from entering the land. And that's in Numbers 13, verses 31 through 32. Only two, Joshua and Caleb, reported that they should enter because God had promised them the land and will be with them. And that's in Numbers chapter 14, verses 6 through 9. God was displeased with the people for not wanting to go into the land he had promised them. In judgment, he allowed all those over 20 years old, except Joshua and Caleb, to die in the wilderness. Joshua and Caleb were the only ones of their generation to go into what we call the promised land. And you'll see that in Numbers chapter 14, verse 30. In all, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness 40 years. And remember, all those that were over 20 years old at the beginning of the journey were now dead, except for Joshua and Caleb. And when Moses died, Joshua was appointed the new leader of Israel. And you'll find that in Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. The Israelites are now ready to enter the land that God promised them. And this land is given to the nation of Israel for an eternal possession, as stated in Genesis chapter 17, verse 8. And this cannot be fulfilled in its entirety until Israel resides in the entire land God promised and stays there forever. And the outworking of God's purpose through Israel does not depend upon their faithfulness. You find that in Isaiah 54, verses 10 through 17, chapter 65, verses 8 through 9, Jeremiah chapter 5, verses 10 through 11, and chapter 31, verses 35 through 37, Ezekiel chapter 16, verses 59 through 63, and Romans chapter 11, verses 26 through 29. As long as the new heavens and the earth shall remain before God, so will the nation of Israel remain before God. And you'll find that in Isaiah 66, verses 22. All of this is different than what people are thinking today. But then in about 1400 BC, the Israelites entered into the land of Canaan, and God begins to rule over the people through Joshua. According to Ussher, the events in the book of Joshua covered a period of 26 years. Joshua records the conquest of the land of Canaan. The boundaries of the land to be conquered at this time is listed in Joshua chapter 1, verse 4. Included in this was all the land of the Hittites. The Hittite Empire is mentioned 46 times in the Bible. At one time, scholars questioned the existence of the Hittites because the Bible was the only source that mentioned them. And that's in 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 6, 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 29, and Exodus chapter 3, verse 8. However, there is now proof of the Hittite Empire. The capital city of the Hittites, Hattusha, was found and excavated, proving their existence. Other proofs found were remnants, tablets, and documents and other excavations, all proving the existence of the Hittites and the accuracy of the Bible. This time period is called the historic kingdom, with God ruling through representatives after Joshua. God began dealing with the people through judges, and God performed one of the same miracles of Joshua that he did for Moses. He parted the water at the Jordan River. God parted the water so the Israelites could cross on dry ground. And it's in Joshua chapter 3, verse 17. Then, about 6 years later, Joshua had conquered a territory of 31 kings. However, the Israelites were ordered to completely destroy all the people. They did not obey God's command, but left some people in the land. So there are 6 cycles that the children of Israel went through under the judges. They were at rest. They were at rest and obeying God, and they did evil in the sight of the Lord. Then the Lord allows them to be taken and oppressed by their enemies. They finally cry out to the Lord, and the Lord raises up a deliverer. And finally, they return to the beginning, obeying God and at rest. This cycle is repeated 6 times, and that cycle still exists today. Even in the United States, we have a country that is based on the God of the Bible. And our country's fallen away from God, it seems like. Anyway, let me say again, even the United States, we have a country that is based on the God of the Bible. And in the past, the majority were trusting in God, resting in prosperity. Today, we can see the apostasy of the Christian church and the nation as a whole, going quickly into immorality of all kinds. Calling evil good and good evil. That's in Isaiah 5:20, but that's sure going on today. Therefore, we see a weakening of our nation, and it appears that the next step in the cycle, step 3, may be approaching. And I thank you for listening.